Good morning, everyone, and welcome to class. And this is Biology Grade 10. And in the last class, we've been discussing about nutrient cycle. And in the last class, we talked about the carbon cycle. Okay, that was what we discussed in the last class. So today, we'll go to the next cycle, which is water cycle. Okay, this is quite easy because we're familiar with how water changes its state and how all of this happened, okay? So when all of this happened, we say it's a water cycle. So we want to see how water goes round and round and round. All right, let's start. So this diagram represents the water cycle. There are a few words that we need to note in this diagram: evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, and percolation. So these are the main words that we need to note in this cycle. 1. Evaporation. What is evaporation? What happens during evaporation? This diagram shows the ocean. Okay, this ocean can maybe it's just saying talking about water body. Okay, so it can be river, it can be lakes. Okay, so we just know that we have water bodies. Okay, so in this diagram we have the ocean. When there is heat energy from the sun, it's going to come on the ocean, okay, and the liquid or the water in the ocean changes to water vapor and goes into the atmosphere. So this process is called evaporation. Evaporation. So basically, what happens is the liquid or the water in oceans changes its state to water vapor. So water goes into the atmosphere through these two processes: evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation, we said that water, the sun would heat up the water body and it changes to water vapor. And we said that in transpiration, what happens in transpiration basically is the plant. Okay, water vapor, water leaves the plant. Okay, transpiration is more like sweating in plants. Let me use that word if you would understand. Okay, so when we think about transpiration, just think about plant sweating. Okay, that means water coming out of the plant. All right, so transpiration and evaporation. Okay, these two would give us water vapor in the atmosphere. All right, so the water vapor in the atmosphere, okay, then cools down again. Okay, then this process is called condensation. So condensation simply means the cooling of water vapor. Okay, and when it cools down, what happens? It forms liquid in the cloud. Okay. So we have here cooling. So we have water droplet. So when it cools down, it gives us water droplet basically back. So we have water droplets and the clouds become very heavy. Okay? And then we have precipitation. Precipitation, it falls down as rain, as snows, as sleet. Okay? So let's just say this is rain. So when the cloud is full, it brings the water back down to the surface of the earth through precipitation. All right, so when this falls upon the surface of the earth, then it goes back to the ocean. Some of it is absorbed by the plant, so they can have transpiration again, and the rest goes back to the ocean. All right, simple. Yes, I'm going to explain it one more time. First, water body: oceans, lakes, streams, whatever. Evaporation, transpiration, both releases water as water vapor into the atmosphere. Okay? Then we have condensation. Okay? So this water vapor condenses and forms a cloud. The cloud then further cools down and we have water droplets. Okay? So when the cloud is filled with water droplet, the water droplet has to come down and we have precipitation. All right, and precipitation in form of rain, snow, all of these are kinds of or types of precipitation. Then we have percolation, all right, and the water is going back to the water body, but some of them would be reabsorbed by plants, so they can have transpiration again. Okay, some of them will be reabsorbed by plants, and the rest will go to the ocean. So let's talk about the water cycle processes. Water cycle processes. Water enters the atmosphere as water vapor in one of two processes, like I said, evaporation and transpiration. So if the question says name two processes that gives water to the atmosphere as water vapor, the answer is evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation, the energy from the sun would heat up the surface, the Earth's surface, and water evaporates from oceans, from rivers, and from lakes. All right? And transpiration from plants releases water vapor into the air. That means water leaves the plant. Okay. So we have talked about evaporation, we have talked about transpiration. Evaporation and transpiration would release water vapor into the atmosphere. So after that, what do we have? Water vapor condenses back into liquid water, forming clouds. This process is called condensation. Okay, so after the evaporation has happened, we have water vapor into the atmosphere, and when we have water vapor in the atmosphere, it condenses back into liquid. Okay, then it forms the cloud, and this process is called condensation. So, as the water droplet in the cloud gets bigger and heavier, then they begin to fall as rain, snow, or sleet, and this is called precipitation. Alright? Then water returns to the earth in form of precipitation. So after water vapor has gone to the atmosphere and there is condensation, the water vapor comes back. You remember it's a cycle. It comes back to the earth through precipitation. So I told you, don't forget these processes: evaporation, transpiration, okay? Condensation, precipitation, and percolation. Percolation simply means water going back. Alright, so you remember evaporation. What happens during evaporation? Sun heats up the ocean, we have evaporation. What happens transpiration? The leaves of the plants, they are sweating, okay? Water vapor leaves them, okay? So all of this would go into the atmosphere. Then we have condensation. Okay, when we have condensation, the water vapor cools down, then it forms the cloud. Okay, then the cloud becomes heavy, then we have precipitation. That means the water comes back to the earth. So which process takes water back to the earth in water cycle is precipitation. Which process takes water away from the surface of the earth? Transpiration and evaporation. Which process cools down water vapor and forms a cloud? Condensation. Alright, so let's do a quick recap. Energy from the sun hits the surface of the earth. Plants releases water vapor into the earth through transpiration. Water evaporates from ocean, rivers, and lakes and soil. The warm, moist air rises because it's less dense, okay, so like water vapor. Water vapor condenses into water droplets as it cools down, forming clouds. The water droplet becomes bigger and heavier, and they begin to fall as rain. So when it becomes too big, then they start to fall as rain, as snow, as sleet. Okay, then plant roots will also take some, when they fall, then plant roots will also take some of the water, so they can also have transpiration again, and the rest of the water will go to the ocean. Alright, so that's about water cycle. Simple, I guess. So I'm going to send the homework on the WhatsApp group after this lesson. Okay? Thank you for listening to Water Cycle.